Well, I haven't done a little update for a while. And I think it's time to give you a little rundown of what's going on lately. Um, when I started putting out my little fiddles last year, I approached local businesses. Okay, I went down to the dock where the giant fiddle is located. Where my brother actually built it with a group of other welders in his company. They got no recognition for the giant fiddle, basically. The guy that had the concept, Cyril Hearn, he grabbed all the glory. Um, so that fiddle is sitting down there on the dock, and I wasn't permitted to sell anything associated with it near the dock. The merchants down there are all going broke. Cause, well, the farmers markets, number one, they're gone down. Okay, they had me banned because of their woke attitude. Then Emerald Isle, they had my product, and they notified me they don't want to carry it no more. And now they're looks like they're going down with having a big tax sale up there. now you got now you got New Dawn. This is a big one. Okay, I've been in this house. I'm sitting here in my apartment that was given to me 18 years ago this week. 18 years ago, okay? I helped fundraise up to about $200,000 to contribute to the refurbishment of a former crack house. We built 4 apartments fully furnished that would accommodate people who could live on their own if they had a mental illness or addiction issue, and if they're clean and they're willing to take care of themselves in their own environment with a little help from a neighbor. Now, that was the plan. Peer support. So that if you can go to your neighbor and they're not going to close the door on you, that was the whole, you know your neighbor, and we helped each other. It was such a good program. I had washers and dryers installed in each apartment, furniture. And then it was so good that I went around the province. I actually appeared at a couple of conferences giving talks on the importance of peer support in housing and how it contributes to a better environment for the whole neighborhood when you have people that are straight and clean, no needles, no methadone, no Dilaudid, no crack pipes, nothing free, okay? Your lodging is paid for, and you take care of your budget, and you live within your means, and you stay clean and sober. That was the whole deal. So they took my idea, and they cultivated it, and they got like, I don't know, 27 more apartments that were funded by, okay, all types of government grants. And then once they were established and they got situated, they eliminated the program I was working, and they instituted what they now call the Allied Center. And this whole woke New Dawn crew, they took over these apartments. And for the past, I'd say, 10 years, after 4 failed attempts to try to evict me because I wouldn't go along with the plan, it didn't work. I'm still here. I haven't paid rent in a year. I basically own this house. You might laugh at that, but I've been here 18 years, and I don't see any lease documents. I don't see any deeds. They made a blunder, and now they came around, and this is what the important part of this message is. They came around with they put a memo in the mailboxes. And on the memo, it said New Dawn Enterprises and Royalty Holdings. So New Dawn Enterprises, after all their foibles, with all the money they put into the queer building down there, but with the queer restaurant that doesn't get anybody to eat there. They got a queer apple cider house. Nobody goes there. They haven't produced any revenue out of the 26 million they sunk into the old convent. Right? All they do is they got purple hair, nose rings, and all that stuff. And they're running around passing papers to each other, telling each other how good they look. And what a wonderful, brave, stunning thing they're doing with their gender. And look where it's got them. They're in receivership. Now, they're going to have to sell off a lot of these properties. And they're going to have to get rid of the CEO, Erica. And Dick Do, Keith. You know what Dick Do is? That's when your belly sticks out more than your dick do. Well, that's Keith Nicholson. Okay? This is the guy that has the keys to all the apartments. And when, say, a senior dies, they got 122 apartments other than the shimmies. Supportive housing where I'm at. This is what I come up with. But they have other apartments with a lot of seniors in them and paying big money. And when someone dies, the first person in there is this property manager with his keys. So what do you think is going on in there when the family doesn't get there before him? Huh? Did you ever check Kijiji? Kijiji keeps records of every transaction and eBay. Okay? You can go back to a person's account. They've got it all on record. And all the items that were sold on these pages, it's all accounted there. Can be dug up. I haven't taken the time to do it, but I know they're there. And all of the equipment, basically, that was up at New Dawn on the radar base when they were doing the federal transition, what they said they had an oil spill by the big dome there, the big radar dome. Well, there was no oil spill. They were refurbishing the fiber optics for that. That's never been shut down. That is a Canadian asset. And so what you have is New Dawn was benefiting from the radar base and the cover-up, so that made it look like they were digging up and cleaning up oil, but wasn't. They were refurbishing the fiber op that they use that lands here from Europe, okay? Here in Point Michaud, that's where the big fiber cables come in that produce all of the internet. There's no satellites up there doing this. These are all cables. If you look at the map of the cables in around the world, you can Google it. You can see all the cables, more cables than you can imagine. They've been laying cables since the 1850s. Okay? And all of these cables have been refurbished, and they're now up to speed with fiber op, high speed, and it goes directly from Europe. It hits us, and then there's a laser, the transfer of data that happens from that radar dome up there. It doesn't hook up with the distant early warning anymore, DEW line. What it does, it transfers data right by laser directly to Colorado. There's a straight shot from where it's sitting here, straight down to NORAD. So that's what New Dawn did up on that property. Now, they're not going to get booted out of there. Somebody will take that over, all of that stuff up on the hill. That may be their last bastion. That's where they may hold up, because the rest of the stuff they got, they're going to have to get rid of it. That whole operation down at New Dawn Enterprises, where they're building the secure facility for mentally ill, drug addicted, drug offenders, pedophiles, genderqueer, all these people are going to have like a protected area with security and everything. You're going to be right in the middle of the North End. And guess what? The feds own it. They paid for it. So once New Dawn goes down, and they're going down because they're in receivership, there's no doubt. They owe me $25,000, and they've kicked the ball down the road again till October. They're going to pay. I'll get my money. And not only that, they're not getting me out of here. They've been trying for so long to get me out of this house, but they're in receivership now. I'll let you tell you this. I'm going to be in possession of this building. Yep. Because they didn't finish it. They didn't live up to any commitments. I've done on the property work. I've done the main deck out front. It's falling apart, but if I had to resources to rebuild it, I'd do it, but I don't have them right now. But I've been maintaining that all these years, painting and scraping and putting new deck on it, primer and stuff. So New Dawn is in receivership. The farmers market's gone down. Emerald Isle's going down. You got all of these woke businesses, like Dr. Luke's is so far in the hole down there in that building they're in, that, well, they're being propped up by New Dawn because New Dawn owns that building. Well, that's gone, and they're going. So the idiot that came up here and sent all those queers up to destroy my house, I hope you're maybe looking at this. You think you busted my door down and you scared me? You didn't scare me. All you did was set yourself up for something in the future that you may regret. Now, this is about 2 years ago, and there's not been a peep from them lately. Okay? This year, during this so-called Pride Month, not a peep. I don't see a tranny flag anywhere. I don't see no flag. All of Sydney seems to have gone. One little area has, and some cars drive around with flags on the bumper, but that's it. And now, looks like the 24th of this month, I have to go back to federal court for the 6th time, rope-a-dope. Okay? I haven't made a plea yet. I've managed to get this to the Supreme Court and have it in discussion, and I've yet to make a plea. And it looks like this may be over on the 24th of June. I'm predicting that they're going to offer me a deal just to go away. And well, I'm not going away peacefully. You know, I'm not going away with a fight. And so there'll be no news coverage of it. There would be nothing in the newspaper or anything like that. They would admit that they were wrong and they went overboard. And the grifter with the dress, the diesel mechanic from over in England is pretending he's a woman, going around grifting us for money from the feds so he could set up a network. Well, that's coming to an end too. All of these things that they've built up over the years, the last few years, it's all going down the shit chute because they've overplayed their hand, like the cultural Marxists and the commies always do. They're good at planning. They can't execute the plan. They got all these big numbers and all these things going on around, and now they ruined the port down here. Okay, Amanda has now edited a picture. Mandy from Milan. You're going to hear that story. And she don't want people to hear about what happened in Milan, Italy, after she had to run over to France and have her father fly her back to Canada. Wonder what happened in Milan that made her have to get out of there. She was only a nanny, so what was she doing? Think about the history of the nannies in Italy. Amanda Knox, look her up. Anyway, back to the New Dawn thing. When you're in a receivership, there's going to be an announcement. They're trying to delay it. Okay, they put out these flyers or this memo wanting to know who lives in what apartment. They already know that. They get rent. They're doing this is called an audit. And the receivers are doing an audit right now. And Ricochet is pissing her pants because all of her woke board that replaced the other board that's put New Dawn in this position the past 4 years, they're going. They got no choice to get rid of them because they're ruining what was once a great vehicle for change for people in the area, for housing less fortunate. And, well, that's all going down the tubes. They ruined it. They ruined it. It may be delayed a little bit. The pallet shelter thing, they got a few extra bucks to do that up there. But that's going to run out. They haven't done any maintenance. No maintenance whatsoever. Okay, the building I'm living in here, falling apart. I'm glad when I'll take it over and I'll fix it myself. Because there's 4 viable apartments here. And I'll tell you, they made a mistake. A big mistake. Okay? They underestimated the legend. Hey, Gordy? Huh? Well, needless to say, the next little while is going to be very interesting. Because back to my little fiddles. The little fiddles are so popular. They're all around the Cabot Trail now. Like I don't know, 20 locations between all around the trail and Wakagama, down through Fort Hawkesbury and Lewisburg. And they're being well received. Now the tourists are just starting to roll in. And then we're going to, like I mentioned before, we have another plastic fiddle that plays music. And we're in negotiation now with the Celtic Interpretive Center in Zurich and down in the Gaelic Center in St. Anne's. They've taken them a hunt for resale. And we're going to try to put a bio with each 20-second audio clip built into the little plastic fiddles that will be 3D printed. We'll have a bio of that fiddler and maybe sell their CDs. So you have to think, what on earth were they thinking when they put the giant fiddle down on the dock where nobody could see it? I always thought that also. And so during my the past year, I got to know a guy that he just bought the Trailsman Motel. Now the Trailsman is at the foot, coming in from Wakagama to Bedeck, 1.5 miles from the Red Burn where you turn onto the Cabot Trail. We're going to be building a second giant fiddle, bigger than the one down on the dock, the one my brother built. Well, his big brother is building a bigger fiddle for the guy that owns the Trailsman. He's got some executive suites put in up there. He's got a beautiful spa. They got a wonderful restaurant. He wants to have the #1 motel in Canada. Excuse me. So I've been given full charge of contracting and installing the world's giant fiddle, the biggest one. The company that I work with out of India, they are willing to put their stamp on it and get world recognition. So they're willing to do this and do it well. And I'm going to be equipping this giant fiddle with some of the lasers inside. It's going to be a phenomenal sight to see. There's going to be a platform in front of this giant fiddle at the location of the Trailsman where you can actually have a ceilidh. Now imagine during the ceilidh, the dance floor clears and a hologram then is projected showing these different fiddlers. We're going to have videotape of a lot of these fiddlers we're going to find in the archives. We're going to be able to put them in a hologram. Put them right on the stage. This is going to be phenomenal. It's going to blow their minds. We're taking the title away from the big fiddle at the dock, so they will have to take everything down off of YouTube. Everything, all our advertising's got to go because there's going to be a new world's biggest fiddle. We may call it a violin, but we're going to copyright what we do and trademark it. And instead of going, you want to get a picture taken with this giant fiddle, you're going to have to pay because it's going to be copywritten. You're going to have to tap $2 or $3 to get your photo taken. Right now, you can't do that. You can't get down to that dock to do that. These tourists, when they come off of those ships, that was another lie. Last year when I tested the market, it turns out that half of the ship's crew never leave, or I should say the whole ship's crew. They never leave there. A few of them do. Then you got 1/3 of those passengers that on the ship, they don't get off at all because everything's paid for and free on there. Why would you leave? Go out and have a look, snort around. The ones that do come off, they're on Econo cruises. They don't have any money. Very little. They don't eat at restaurants. They got free food. They got the best food on those cruise ships. Why would they eat at restaurants? Maybe a few do. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. They don't buy anything. And now the farmer's market shut down and all those woke characters, and some of them got their goods down on the dock. They're all going to feel it. Okay? They made bad decisions. And now they're paying for it. And Amanda's gone. she's not going to run. And now Tricky Dick Cecil, he's coming in. Yeah, he thinks he's going to run and win. Everybody likes Cecil. It ain't going to happen, Cecil. There's a new mayor going to be announced, and it won't be Cecil. Okay, so stay tuned for that one. Back to New Dawn. Bye. Been nice knowing you. Eric, I'm telling you, you should read some of the emails that I've sent to these people. And the Crown Attorney's told me that when I send my faxes and emails to the Crown Attorney's office, they love them. They laugh like hell at them. But when they get up to the door, the law of the land prevents them from doing anything. Because once they get up to the law at the door, they can laugh all they want about the woke nonsense they have to take part in, but they have to take part or they won't have no job. So, again, buy it, Amanda. Bye, Erica. Oh, I can't. This is overwhelming. So, stay tuned. There's going to be some major things happening